Okay, so recently there is one thing bothering me in this fashion designing, and it happened twice yesterday and today. So I deemed it fit to share my view or thought about the whole scenario. Now, most designers in the southeast, especially those of us that are within Owerri, Port Harcourt, Enugu, Anambra, even um, Delta, rivers, right? Any southeastern states or any place that you can refer to the east. So we do have this challenge or issue where customers do refer to Aba Tailors. Now, in the sense that Aba gives them cheaper sewing and cheaper production. Now, I am not here to defend Aba Tailors, nor I'm here to applaud them, right? But I want to draw two inferences with this comparison. For example, you are into real estate, for example, and you want to buy a land, right? And you are looking for a well-developed area to procure a land. Now, the land you are looking for in a well-developed area can never be the same price with a land that is inside the bush or in the primitive region. Now, I'm not trying to say that Aba is in a primitive region. Don't get my example wrong. Now, another inference also I'm giving is that if you are not in Nigeria and you wish to eat or get access to Nigerian local foods like fufu, um, soup, and every other ube maize, right? All this Nigerian food. Now, you will bear with me, you will know, you understand, and you will also testify that the cost of getting this food in UK, America, Canada, every other European and American countries are not the same price with Nigeria. For example, you might get ube maize for oka and ube for like let's say 1,000 naira in Nigeria. But over there, the value will be almost 10,000 to 5,000 naira in Nigerian currency. Now, this goes to show that when a certain commodity is predominant in your area, that commodity seems to be cheap or cheaper in production, in accessing. Like those of us that do go to the villages to shop for rice, to shop for gari, all these local foods, we tend to get them cheaper from the villages, from the village women. Now, you will not because of you are buying this rice, this gari, sorry, from let's say Maagwo or any other village that you know that produce gari very well. And you go to a supermarket and you see a cup for like 1.5. Now, if you don't have the money, kindly go to that primitive area to procure. And you don't have to make a case with the shop or supermarket selling garri for 1.5 because it took him or took the person transportation to go to that village to bring those goods to your doorstep into the township. So you won't expect the price to be the same, right? So the same thing applies to fashion designers in Aba. Now, the sewing accessories are predominant in Aba. The lining, the machines to do design, the sewing accessories, everything are locally sourced from Aba. Now, a tailor that traveled from Lagos and went to Aba to buy those things in bulk, you won't expect his price of sewing to be the same with those people in Aba. You get? So these are the things some people forget. Now, the one that got me really worried was someone called me to come and take home delivery, home measurement, which I went. He wanted to sew 10 senators. So I gave him my price. He said he's going to pay me 8,000 naira for sewing a top and a trouser with design. I just laughed. I said, Oga, it won't work that way. He made mention that he gets it cheaper in Aba, right? So he said he's paying 10,000 per one that it was, less than 10K per one. So he now offered to pay me 10,000 because I came to measure him. I said, Oga, it's not gonna work because of one, the designs, my sewing time, my professionalism, and everything. So, and one thing as well you also understand again is that about people, they use their apprentices to make production easier. But whereas here in other, developed areas, we mostly employ professionals whom we pay. So the cost of running apprenticeship, running production in Aba is way cheaper because there are a lot of young boys that undergo apprenticeship that go to train, and the training is in production. But why in a fashion school or in fashion outlets, you have a curriculum where you teach apprentices and they are not meant to produce or touch client's job until they get to a certain level of knowledge. Do you get? So you will not be paying Aba people 4,000 naira, but the man made mention of he pays Aba people 4K to make a top. I'm like, okay, fine, it's good. But for me, I'm not gonna sew it for 4,000 naira. So, and you also understand that in Aba, they have what they call division of labor. Now, the number of clothes they produce in a day can be compared to the number of clothes a single tailor or designer can produce in a month. About people can produce up to 100 clothes under a day. Now, before a tailor in any other area produces that number of clothes, it might take him like a week or 2 or 3, even 3 weeks. So the gain they make daily is more than what you can make in a month if you are producing like them. And they also bear in mind that they also contribute money to power a certain region. Like let's say in a market line, someone can decide to install a mechano that will power the whole line, whereby they pay 1.5 daily, 2K daily to have light from 7 to 5 p.m. So imagine you're paying 1.5 and you are powering your shop and you are producing your working. You won't compare someone buying fuel of 10,000, 15,000, 20,000 a day to make production and has lesser labor to produce. So most of the times, this money we pay or we spend or we charge even ends up in fuel and sewing accessories. Let's talk about cost of monogram. Monogram is another factor that consumes fashion designers' money here in the East, even in the South. But then it's cheaper in the northern part of Nigeria, it's cheaper in Aba. But then you won't, because of you want to make one monogram of outfit, you enter moto and go to Aba, or you do Webu and go to Aba. The timing and the urgency might not tally with your nature of job you have. So this brings us to respecting individual prices, respecting individual charges, right? If you can afford to pay me my fee to make clothes for you, fine and good. But comparing me or someone else to Aba Tailors, it's like you are living in a fake life. Like you want someone to wear the shoe that does not match or fit his size, right? And also bear in mind that cost of housing is cheaper as well in Aba. In Aba, you can get a shop for like 500,000 a year, a very big shop for 500,000. But here in Owerri and every other places I know, you can't get a shop for that price in a year. A shop of 500,000 naira will just be like a room that will not even enter 2 or 3 machines. And also be in mind as well that Aba people don't focus on aesthetics, meaning they don't bother to pimp their shop, do all those, pimping. They're only focused on production, on sewing, and making sure that the work is coming out. But other tailors in other states might spend a whole lot of money to make sure that their environment is looking good and conducive as possible. So you hardly see a tailor in Aba having time to paint his shop or her shop. The highest I can do is put AC and fan, and they're good to go. Like I said, this is not to ridicule Aba Tailors. It's just an insight for us to think or approach this issue from other perspectives. So please, this goes to all tailors and potential clients. For the tailors, stick to your price. If you know that 1,000 is what you can charge and you are good to sew the clothes, charge your price. Don't because of pressure and accept to charge 500, for example, because Aba people are charging 500. No, charge what you deem fit. Charge what you know that is obtainable in your locality. Right? Those in Abuja charges way higher. Those in Lagos, Lekki charges way higher. So you because of you are in Lekki and you want someone in Lekki Tailor, a Lekki designer to charge you 4,000 naira to sew like Aba Tailor. It's not possible. You and I know that the cost of renting a house in Lekki is exorbitant. Even to procure a land there is exorbitant. Even to rent a shop is exorbitant. So you won't because tailor in Aba is charging 4,000, you now mandate a tailor in Lekki to charge you the same 4,000. It doesn't make sense. It really doesn't make sense at all. Or tailor in Abuja or every other place that is costly. Even in UK, they have tailors in UK. So have you asked yourself why our people in UK, America, why are they coming back to Nigeria to sew? Why don't they sew over there in abroad? Because it's exorbitant, it's very expensive. So they prefer to send down their measurements down in Nigeria to sew and wear build their clothes. So if the cost of sewing there was cheaper, they could have sewn and have their clothes made over there. Only few of them can afford that designs there, or even as that, if there's enough time, they prefer to even book you ahead of time than paying times 3 of the price over there in the UK and other countries at large. So if you're a tailor, please stick to your price and make sure you deliver quality over quantity. Then if you're also a potential client watching this video, I beg, pity for us. It's not easy. Cost of rent is exorbitant. Cost of rent is exorbitant. Where I'm staying now, I'm paying 1.3 million naira for a 3-bedroom apartment I use for my fashion house. So imagine I am making a cloth for 4,000. How will I now cover the money to pay my rent? I have never talked about feeding and my other logistics. So please try and understand that every tailor and every designer has their own unique price and their own unique way of working. And comparing people in Aba to people in Owerri or Port Harcourt or Abuja or Lagos will not solve your problem. It won't make any sense. If you prefer people in Aba, kindly go to Aba and sew. And don't make that comparison so that it won't be as if we are extorting you, right? So we can't extort you, neither can you as well compel us to charge like people in Aba. Thanks for watching. Please share your comments in this video. If you watch this video and if you have other things to add, please share your comments. I'm really not happy about this, but then it is what it is. We cannot kill ourselves. So, bye-bye. See you in the next one. Bye-bye for now.